Welcome to How to Money with Kole and Kole.
I'm Kole.
And I'm Kole.
We coach people every day on their money and how to plan for the future.
As financial advisors, we're here to have an honest conversation and educate you on investing, retirement, and everything in between. And we'll throw in some sports talk along the way.
Our mission and goal of this podcast is to improve your money journey and help you create the financial life you deserve.
So let's talk money.
And sports.
Welcome back to How to Money with Kole and Kole. I am your host, Baileigh Ashbrook, sitting with both Koles.
Yeah, we got two of them
financial advisors.
Both back.
We haven't done this in a few weeks where everyone's here.
I know.
It's been a while, yeah.
Crazy. We've had a crazy period.
Yep, so my son David is doing just fine. Thank you for all the prayers and everyone that reached out to me. But he spent a couple nights in the emergency room after running his bike into a truck that was parked at a stop sign. No fault of the truck at all. He's 9 years old.
I was like, he's got a lot of energy, that boy.
Yeah, he got a little distracted. Was going down a hill and hit the brakes a little too late. And but he's doing okay. He just got jabbed in the stomach, no broken bones. They were a little worried about internal bleeding, so had to spend a couple days in the hospital.
That's a lot.
He's chomping at the bits. I'm sure. I know he's got to be sidelined for a little while, but he's out at our football practice, watching his sisters play football, and you can see he just wants to get out there and start
like
throwing
the ball.
Oh my God, I felt bad for him sitting over there watching. Oh.
Yeah, he's a very active kid. Plays about 17 different sports, so him having to sit out 3 weeks is going to be tough.
Yeah. That's
so tough. Like what? 1 week off so far?
1 out of 4?
No, he's on 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Okay.
And we've told him if he makes it through this week and doesn't he's had a couple incidents, even though he's out of sports. He slipped on a sweatshirt at school and fell, and he's had all kinds of stuff.
He's probably got
he's a 9-year-old
energy though. Like he's probably trying to release that energy.
Yeah. So as long as he can get through this week and through this weekend, he should be good to go for next week.
There you go.
Speaking of sports,
okay.
Do you want to talk about your Cubs or your Broncos?
I'll bring it up.
I don't want to talk about football.
Broncos got the 70 spot put on. That's rough.
That's embarrassing.
When you bring it up on your phone and you're not watching the game, it's shocking. When you see
especially
70 points
in the NFL, it just doesn't
in college,
happen.
you see it all the time.
It just doesn't happen. You're like, were they even there?
Like, were they even like, yeah.
Cole, the record is 73.
I know. They took a kneel.
They're playing about as good as our first grade team. We got you guys.
Hey, come on.
The record is 73. So give up 70 to, yes, I know the Dolphins are good, but they're not that good. It was embarrassing.
Thanks for bringing that up, Caleb.
Yeah.
Hey, no problem. I like making
is
fun of people.
looking tough.
Well, your Steelers are looking tough.
Yeah.
I think my picks, so far for Super Bowl look solid. So
Yeah.
we'll see. A lot of season to go. A lot of injuries. It'll be.
Yeah. Like Luke got so upset. Obviously, the Cowboys lost. I'm like, guys, one game at a time. There's a lot of season left.
A lot riding on that for us as fans sitting on our armchair quarterbacks. So.
Yeah.
I'm glad the Bengals won last night because my prediction would be looking terrible if they didn't win because they'd be 0-3 and they'd be my pick to go to the Super Bowl.
The Bengals beat the Rams last night, right? Yeah, and the Eagles beat the Bucks. The Eagles dominated that game, I believe, but I didn't see much of it. What was that? Bowling league with
We got a lot going on.
Man.
We got a lot going on.
We
right
have
now.
a bowling league, and I did awful last night.
Yeah.
Like, I should have went to bed.
Baileigh was a little sleepy at bowling.
I go to bed very early, and I literally was like, how did I sign up for an evening Monday league? Like, what was I thinking?
We better.
We got to get our good guest.
Yeah. Hold on.
Cole's got to talk about his Cubs for a second because it's getting close to
talk about him every episode.
All right, so we're going to count down from 30 seconds to go.
There's only 6 games left in the season. There's 162 games, guys. So there's 6 games left. They're currently the number 6 seed, and I think they're going to be in the playoffs. They got 3 at Atlanta and 3 at Milwaukee, which I think Milwaukee's going to be already clinched into the number 3 seed. So we should be good to go.
Cole's jacked. He's a diehard Cubs. Jacked.
Yeah.
About as jacked as I am for our guest. All right, we're sitting here with Jacci Hindt, serial entrepreneur. You got a lot of things going on. You got a studio, photography, video. Got Addison James Boutique. You teach. You got kids. You're just all over it. And your newest adventure, Salty Suz.
Yes, Salty Suz is located in Fort Dodge on Central Avenue. And it's a partnership that was a dream, kind of creating a legacy at the same time now through tragedy.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. I know you had a friend that passed away.
Yes.
And this was something that you had talked to her about with her husband, and now obviously since she's passed away, that you and her husband got together as far as the partnership for the business, and you started this bar/restaurant named Salty Suz.
Yes. So Salty Suz, as I said, was a dream that became a legacy. So we were actually in California, which is where Claire and I had lived when we were younger. So kind of ironic. In the same area we lived, unknowingly that this was going to happen. And Brandon had kind of brought up, so what are your thoughts? Like, I know Crickets is for sale. What do you think? And Crickets, if you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell people what
was a karaoke bar. And we created some of our very favorite moments in that same bar. So when Brandon brought it to me, I was like, yeah, we got to do this. And we were sitting in this adorable coffee shop in California with our oldest kids. And I was like, it's a no-brainer. Like, I want it to be exactly like this. This is what I want. And within 10 minutes, we had it all laid out and a name picked out.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Tell people
you had the name.
Yeah, tell people the vibe of Salty Suz.
So Salty Suz is really just a place where you can escape. We want it to feel like you're not in Fort Dodge. You're able just to go there and relax. It's kind of a California vibe, which makes sense because we were in California and that was a big part of our life. So
I've been in there. It does have that vibe, especially the bar. How you get the bar sitting and
like
you
bright
get the roll-up door,
colors,
roll-up door, and
it's pretty modern.
So really cool. I think just for the town of Fort Dodge too. That area had needed some loving, I'd say, and a nice new business there, so brightens up the area. So I think Fort Dodge welcomes that.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Tell us about the name Salty Suz and how you guys came up with that.
So we were sitting there thinking, like, what were some of her favorite things? And the ocean was definitely all of our favorite thing. Just being able to travel, go to the ocean, and then also margaritas. So like, what?
Everyone loves margaritas.
Yeah, no one. Yeah.
So what like really brings those together? And we're like, oh, I don't know. And then we're like, we don't really want it. We want it to be about her, but not like always say Claire, but like, how can we bring that in? And we're like, okay, Suzanne. And my daughter was like, Salty Suz. And we're like, yes, that's it.
I love that your daughter did it too.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So I know Baileigh mentioned that you have several businesses, and we'll go through that in your what we like to call in this podcast a serial entrepreneur, because we talked about Kole and his many ventures, and you have many ventures, but the place where everything started as far as your entrepreneurship was photography, correct?
Correct.
That was the first business that you started outside of your daily job. It was something that you started on your own. So tell us a little bit about your studio and photography and how that started.
So really, I believe that entrepreneurship happened to me or maybe for me. I'm not sure. But I was a young mom, and my dad was into photography, and it was something I always loved. And so I just started taking pictures of her. And then one person asked and another person asked. And then I thought, well, I can make money doing this. And so I started making money. And then I was like, well, I don't have a why. So like, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep doing it at night? And so I just started thinking, like, why is it so important to me? And it was really being a young single mom. Like, I wanted to create a life that I could with everything I could, but also so that my kids had minimal struggle. I'm not saying I wanted to be rich. I just wanted my kids to struggle minimally throughout their life. And at this time it was just one child. So now I have three, but that's kind of always carried throughout my life.
Yeah. And you've taken pictures of my family for the last 10 years and obviously do a wonderful job. So you also get to see those families grow up, obviously. So that's kind of cool, and do a wonderful job with that. So, and then you've transitioned also into the boutique. Tell us a little bit about the Addison James Boutique in Gowrie, Iowa.
So that also kind of happened for me. It was a trend in photography that you offered a client closet, and you see it kind of coming back again. But this was 10 years ago. And so I decided, like, how can I get these clients in, help them with fashion and style affordably, but also have it at my store? Because at the time I lived in Eagle Grove. And so small town, they'd have to run places. And again, I'm always small town. Like, how can I make it more convenient for you? And so I started with I just started diving into the boutique world and started with a really small selection, and it kept growing. People were like, well, this is a clothing boutique. And I'm like, yes, it is. And so it just started growing from there.
That's awesome. So you talked about all your endeavors. Like, how did you switch from entrepreneur? Because we were kind of previously talking, you were in the employment world, you were an employee. How did you feel like taking that risk, taking that transition, or what was that step that made you think, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be in charge of all my endeavors and like go for it?
Yeah, I mean, as Kole knows, it was a struggle for me. I definitely felt like I was always boxed in when I was working in the employment world, that I was letting opportunities kind of pass by that could take me to the next level. But I was just really living in fear. And so it was once that I made that choice to go from fear to freedom that I was like, I'm going all in 100% no matter what happens. I'm also not afraid of failure. And I feel like entrepreneurs can often be or held back by failure. And I believe that in every failure, there's a lesson, and it's all about how you get back up.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I remember this conversation specifically with you because we were like going through all your different businesses, and then I was like, you know, how are you juggling this? You're like, yeah, I got to eliminate something. And I'm like, well, what's the one thing that you're not really enjoying, or not, you know, what doesn't fulfill you? And you were like, well, my full-time job. And I was like, well, why aren't you eliminating that? And it has a lot to do with benefits and everything that goes along with a full-time job, and you got to figure that stuff outside of your work, and it does take a little bit of time and work, but that's where we can be of assistance with that stuff. So
I think fear of not knowing and stability, especially as a single mom at the time, but that definitely was like, okay, I have stability and I always know, but there was no reward because there was no risk.
Something was missing, like you had an itch.
Something was always missing for me.
All right, Jacci. So you got, the studio, Salty Suz. You got your boutique. Talk about, your team, maybe a little bit about your team, or the people that are around you. You talked a little bit. You got a partner, I know, in the bar restaurant, and then your time management. How do you manage your mother at 3? How do you manage those things and those aspects of being a business owner?
I don't think it comes down to balance. I think it comes down to priority and almost prioritizing every minute of every day, knowing what's coming forward. But also, I do have a great team. Salty Suz, we are so lucky. We have a great manager. We have a great staff. Brandon's an amazing partner, so I'm lucky there. With the boutique, I have some great workers that step in and help out with anything and everything. And then with photography, I just really have great contact workers. But I also surround myself with a really great support system. My friend group is incredible. My family's really stepped it up. So I think just surrounding you with people that believe in you so you can believe in yourself and carry those things through.
It's a common theme, right? Entrepreneurs, I think you got to surround yourself with great people and positive, positive people. We talked a little off mic about there's always the people that doubt you or are trying to maybe envious a little bit of the risk that you're willing to take and take that step. So, props to you on that.
Yeah, it's that light analogy. Like when someone's light's shining bright, do you want to dim it or do you want it to shine brighter? Like room for everyone's light. I love that. So like, what would you tell someone looking to maybe get into being, like they have that itch, they've thought about it, they have these ideas. Like what would be your best advice for someone wanting to be an entrepreneur?
I think if it's an idea and you're ready to work, anything is possible. So I think go for it.
Yeah.
I love it.
The worst that's going to happen is it's not going to work.
Yeah, I always tell people you fail forward. Like if it doesn't work out and you tried it, at least you tried it and you can never look back and be like, gosh, I really wish I would have went for it.
I think I would rather try and fail with anything than never try and never know.
Yeah.
And that's always been a drive for me.
Hey there, listeners. This episode of How to Money with Kole and Kole is sponsored by BetterHelp. I don't know about you, but for me, finding the work-life balance of being a husband and father and working a job has been so rewarding, but it also can be so exhausting. And that's why it's important for me to take care of my health. And not just my physical health, but my mental health. And that's where therapy comes in.
BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service. And you know what's great about it? It's 100% online.
With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of challenges. To get started, you just have to answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call.
You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge.
With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you with more scheduling flexibility at a more affordable price.
Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/CFG to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/CFG.
All right, let's do a little dollars and cents.
Dollar bills, y'all. By the way, I heard you last week.
2 weeks ago, or
2 weeks ago, do my dollar
you took the thought out of my brain. I'm like, I'm not very good at that. So thank God you're back.
Oh, the dollar bill. Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? He does great at dollars and cents. But you mean the actual the dollar bill?
Yeah. Thank God you're here.
I was in my car. I was laughing so hard.
We were doing it in honor of you, Colby.
Yeah, because you tried to like deepen your voice.
It took like 6 takes.
It did.
6 takes.
You missed the one where you thought he was a rapper. I was like, okay, Pitbull, calm down.
All right.
Oh my
gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right, stat nerd, what do you got?
Hold on though. That's called surround yourself with good people, right?
Yeah.
He's better at the dollars and cents thing.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's doing it and I'm not. So 15 years later. So, I know we're talking about entrepreneurship, but we're always talking money, talking about the markets. 15 years later, so September 15th marked the 15th anniversary of the collapse of Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy. And what the numbers we're going to go into is after Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy, the S&P 500 proceeded to go to its March 2009 lows, and it was 46% down. So if you own the S&P 500 or just own the market, and after Lehman Brothers collapsed or filed bankruptcy, you went down 46%.
Yikes.
Let's fast forward 15 years later. So say you didn't do anything. The market has since rallied and rebounded. Since that March 9th low, 15 years later, the market is up 380% for 11% annualized return. So, the moral to the story is, a lot of craziness, a lot of things going on, but a lot of times, no action sometimes is the best action. And I think that shows it right there is you would have made 11% returns or 380% return over that time period.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about the collapse in 2008 and how weird of a time that was. And I realized I was the only one in this room really working at that time because
Jackie
you guys were all like babies, but it was such an awkward time. And you're like, Lehman Brothers filed bankruptcy, like why? And then it was just like they kept falling. It was kept Bear Stearns, and and you didn't know when it was going to stop. That was the problem.
So much uncertainty, right?
Oh my gosh!
So much
and
uncertainty.
Then the housing collapse, and it was just like the next day you got worse news than the previous day. It was kind of like during COVID.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
COVID was just like it was nonstop. You're like, oh my gosh, like
something was on fire. Yeah. Somebody was in trouble. Yeah,
and the market was
same
like
situation.
Up, down. It was crazy.
It was just like so much uncertainty, and you didn't know what was going on. But every day seemed to be worse than the day before, and then you hit a low, and then every day seemed to be better than the day before. It was a very awkward time, but that is kind of crazy. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That was my second year at principal.
Dating himself.
Aging yourself here.
Yeah.
Well, and that's I'm just gonna tie this back into Jackie, like the power of fear. Wow, like you know what I mean? The fear of how many people probably got out at that time, the people who stayed in and rode out the fear, and like the fear of doing what you're really passionate about. Like it is crazy if you just take care of yourself, take care of your things, and
have a plan.
Trust the plan in your process, your way, and don't let fear.
Matt Campbell quote: "Trust the process."
Yeah, don't let fear take over your life and decisions. So
for sure. Well, let's get back to the questions for Jackie here, and I wanted to ask Jackie, okay, so you've been through several different businesses, and they've changed and evolved over the year. What would you say has been your biggest challenge or biggest maybe that point where you failed forward? Hey, I made a mistake. I should have done it this way. What do you have a certain spot where you're like, hey, that was a big moment for me?
I think I fail every day. I mean, that's true. I think every day I'm like, man, I could have done that differently. I think my biggest challenge was mental. Like it was me getting over me. It was me getting out of my way. It was me not allowing me to listen to other people who were afraid of what I was doing. I think that's always been my biggest challenge in entrepreneurship. So nothing real specific, but that's a daily challenge for anybody who does entrepreneurship or that runs their own business. You let other people's opinions influence you. And at one point you have to set your boundaries and say, I'm not doing that anymore.
Oh, I love that because it is true. Like people speak into you and you say you can just brush it off, but you're really like, oh, are they right? Should I be doing that? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, why listen to people that aren't doing what you're doing? Because anyone that's doing more will never speak bad of someone trying.
Right. And actually, I have to bring this point up because I went and saw Kole pee before I opened up Salty Suz. And I knew when this opportunity presented to me, like it was right. Like I knew, okay, I'm going to do this. But of course I went back into that fear that we talked about earlier. And I went and saw Kole and I said to Kole, listen, I wasn't going to tell you this because every time I come here, I always bring you something, but I have this idea, I have this opportunity and I want to go with it. And Kole looked at me and kind of laughed a little bit and said, not at me, just like, oh, I can't believe this. And he said to me, if anyone can do it, I think it will be you, but I want you to know that it's really risky.
Yeah,
and
the
I
restaurant
remember,
businesses, yeah.
And I remember leaving that appointment and I thought to myself, like, I respect Kole P so much. I mean, I go to him all the time for things, but I thought to myself, that's right. It is risky, but I'll always believe that my why is bigger than the risk.
I was just going to say, I feel like you're really in tune with your mission, your values, your why. So like, I was just going to say, what is your goal of all these businesses? And like, what are you trying to achieve? Like, what's your mission in this world?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You can take a second.
Yeah.
Like, you do not have to answer right away. Like you could just maybe give your mission of Salty Suz, like where you want it to go.
The mission of Salty Suz, truly, again, it's a legacy. And so what we wanted or what I wanted for this, I mean, I created some of my very favorite moments with my very best friend in this building. And at the end of our time, that's all we have. So in tragedy, what do we have left? Our memories. And so I really wanted a place that was welcoming, inviting, different, and a place where people could go and have intentional conversation, meet up with people intentionally and make those memories. And so that was my why for Salty Suz.
I just got the goosebumps. Like,
Yeah,
that is
that's
so
awesome.
true. Your memories are really, and
That's it. When it's over, that's it. That's all you have is memories.
I love that. So tell us more about Salty Suz, because there's a lot coming on. You have an event Saturday.
We have an event Saturday, yes. And we have brought back karaoke. We call it Clarioke.
Yeah, get into that.
So it's known for karaoke, and we thought we could not let that go because people love karaoke.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't a place for that. So we incorporated that back into the business. That was one of Claire's favorite things. So
What night do you do?
say.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what your schedule is for karaoke.
You have to follow us on social media because it's scattered. Yes. But we do offer it right now like once a month. But our next one is called Scarioke. And so we're doing karaoke and a costume contest on Halloween. So October 28th.
I love that. That'd be a good
that's
team
great.
bonding.
Yes.
That's what we should do for team bonding.
There you
No
go.
bowling. Let's go to karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know Molly would rip that mic.
I think she would do all right at that.
Bring
She
her.
would.
She would.
Yeah.
So your next thing coming up though is called Fundraising for Fertility, and we want to make sure we promote this event because it's gonna be a great event. It's for a couple, Alyssa and Ronnie Albee. I knew I'd mess that up. And they're raising money for fertility. So they're going through fertility treatments and trying to have a child, which we all in this room have children, except Caleb. Or no, Caleb doesn't.
Caleb
Right?
doesn't.
Yeah.
He has no mic. He looked at you like, how dare you?
No, you did. Yeah.
I forgot.
I got the lost sleep to
Because
prove
he's a
it.
baby.
Yeah, no doubt.
Got the wrinkles to prove it.
So it's Saturday, September 30th, starting at 6 p.m. They're going to have a cover charge and a 50-50 raffle, live music. 100% of the raffle and the cover charge all go to the family to help them with the... so if anybody's ever been through fertility treatment, and thank God that it's something that I didn't have to go through, but I have some friends that do it, and it is super duper expensive.
Yes.
And you're not guaranteed anything,
Right.
and that's the thing is you can put money into this and do it several times and not end up with a child, and so I'm assuming, and I'll let you talk about it. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but
You're doing great.
I'm passionate about this because I think it is a great thing that you're doing for the community and for this family.
Yes. So we're always here for the community. So I think it's so important any chance we get to help the community out.
And I think that's so cool because people can say what they want about anybody's town, but like I love that people like you who see the possibilities in Fort Dodge and can bring that light and bring a place where people can welcome and do events that are important to people.
Bring people together.
Yeah, like community is so important, and just it is a cool looking space. Like I've not been there. I know Cool J has, but I was like, ooh, girls got some style.
I love the roll up door. I like that.
That's a very popular feature at the bar. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're open for dinner most of the time.
Yes.
The weekends you're open for lunch and dinner.
Correct.
And the only night that it's like a late night is Friday and Saturday,
Correct.
where you're open till 1 a.m. So it's more of a evening type of
It
after
is.
work, grab a dinner or grab appetizers type of feel.
Correct.
I heard the margaritas are
The
awesome.
margaritas are
I was
amazing.
just gonna ask, what's the best drink and food on the menu?
the most popular has been the flatbread. The hot honey flatbread has been so popular, and it's so delicious. You should go try it.
I'm getting hungry.
And
Me too.
all of the drinks are amazing, but the margaritas, the spicy margarita is incredible.
Oh boy.
I love that.
Yes.
Spicy margaritas.
Spicy margarita.
So we were just in Chicago with Molly and her mom, and they had spicy margaritas at a restaurant. So now that I know that,
That's where date
I'm going
night's
to be
going.
sending them there for
They're
sure.
so good.
So tell people, everyone, where they can find you. The boutique. They need a photographer. If they need some clothes. Hey, if they just need some mom advice, and where can you find Salty Suz?
All right, you can find me for Jacci Addison on Jacci Addison Studio, which is on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the things. Addison James is also on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok as Addison James IA. And you can find Salty Suz on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, Salty Suz FD.
Awesome.
Just so we're clear, Jacci Addison is the photography studio.
Yeah.
Correct.
Addison James is the clothing. Salty Suz is the restaurant /bar.
You got it.
Okay, I just want
Awesome.
to
Wow.
make sure.
And she's a mom, people.
Yep.
So when
Yes.
you say you don't have time, what are your priorities? You
Yeah.
make the time.
If sleeping's a priority, you're out.
Well, I'm out.
Yeah, if sleeping is, if you like to sleep a lot and stay up late and get up late, you're not supposed to be an entrepreneur. That's for
right.
sure.
Jacci, that's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing the insight and sharing about Claire and all that. I know that's probably a lot, but like, what a cool story. And I'm glad you went for it.
Thank you so
Even though it
much.
was risky.
Where there's no risk, there's no reward.
Oh, I love
You're
that.
full of quotes. So
Yeah, she's
thank
an
you. Thank you.
inspirational
Yeah.
Pinterest board we got in here today.
I always love hearing other entrepreneurs' stories. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
When you don't give up, you cannot fail. Adrian Peterson.
Go Cubs.
You've been listening to How to Money with Kole and Kole, the podcast of the Central Financial Group, courtesy of Spin Market. To learn more, visit their website at www.centralfinancialgroup.com and follow them on all their social media platforms.
For now, I'm Cole,
And I'm Kole.
and we'll see you on the greens.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associations Incorporated, member FINRA, SIPC. Royal Alliance Associations Incorporated is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Royal Alliance Associations Incorporated. Material discussed is meant for general informational purposes only, and it is not to be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Diversification does not insure against loss. Any guarantees discussed refer only to fixed insurance products and are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.